list is the book of those who are very unlucky. They're wretched. So Umar radiallahu anhu used to make dua, "Oh Allah, put my name in the list of the ones who are very, very lucky." So the lucky one is opposite. The lucky one is the one whom Allah had given him his parents, and they reached an age of seniority, and he was able to attain Jannah through them. I remember Tuesday, one senior brother, maybe close to anywhere between 70 and 80. Very hard to say the ages nowadays. He was calling me, and usually, unfortunately, because I get so many calls, I missed his call. And then when I called him back, he didn't pick up. Then yesterday, we got the news that he had become rahimahullah. He was based in Danbury. So every now and then he would call me and he'd say, "I have this masala, can you give me this answer?" So I would sit down, if I had time, I would explain. And he would say, "Jazakallah." And then Tuesday was the last call I had from him, and today he's gone. And both, I got the Imam's message and also the son's message. Both of them said that make dua for him. Make dua, may Allah make him from Jannatul Firdaus without reckoning. Whenever I went to that masjid, because we go for the testing of the students, whenever I went, I always found him there. Unique. I don't know when he came, I don't know when he left. When I would come into the masjid, he was there. When I would leave the masjid after testing the students, 7 p.m., 7:15, he would still be there. Some people are lucky. Towards the end of his life, he was in the masjid. That is why from amongst the lucky people are those whom Allah allows them to be attached with the masjid some point in their life. We have seen so many people in one part of their life, they didn't have understanding of deen. So they, like any other American youngster, they enjoyed their life. They bought expensive stuff, they went to what we say party, and their life was completely different. Bought expensive watches, expensive cars, and that was their life. And at one point Allah put into their heart, by you're wasting your life, do something with your life. So then whichever local masjid Allah had given them the opportunity, they would come and attach themselves with the masjid. Then that same person, you see him 10 years down the line, you see that he has completely changed. You always come, you see he's in the masjid. When it comes to supporting the masjid, he's the first person to give his name. Anything, then you see that the same person, he goes and does Umrah. Then he goes and performs Hajj. Then if he had a house on interest, very soon you see he's out of that interest. If he had any business haram involvement, you'll see slowly he comes out of that haram involvement. And the miraculous thing is, before this person dies, Allah Ta'ala completely cleans him out. So the person you saw 10 years ago versus the person you see the day he died is completely different. Impossible to imagine this person was like this one day. And that is one of the beauty of Islam, that if a person was not a Muslim before, the day he comes into Islam, Allah wipes him clean. If he was not a Muslim before, the day he comes into Islam, Allah wipes him clean. When a person goes for Hajj and Allah accepts his Hajj as Hajj Mabrur, he comes back, Allah wipes him clean. When the month of Ramadan comes, a person can value the month of Ramadan. By the time the Eid night appears, Allah does not just wipe him clean, Allah changes all the evil and sins he had committed into good deeds. And that is also a promise of Allah in the Quran. إِلَّا مَنْ تَابَ وَآمَنَ وَعَمِلَ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا فَأُولَٰئِكَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. The one who made tawbah, إِلَّا مَنْ تَابَ, he made tawbah. He asked Allah for forgiveness, sincerely. وَآمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا, he strengthened his iman and he started doing good deeds. فَأُولَٰئِكَ, they are the category of those people. يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ, Allah is going to change their bad deeds into hasanat, into good deeds. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا, and Allah is the one who is the most forgiving. So one wretched was who? Was the people who found senior parents and they were unable to go into Jannah through their parents. And the second category of those people who are wretched in the eyes of Sharia are those whom Allah gave the month of Ramadan. Allah gave them the month of Ramadan. The Ramadan month went by and they could not get forgiveness from Allah. They're also very wretched. Wretched means, again, one more time, wretched is not an evil person. Wretched is a person who's extremely unlucky. Basically, Allah is like imagine Allah giving someone, nowadays we consider money to be a source of success. Let's say someone comes with a box of money. Maybe there's a few $1,000,000 inside. And says, brother, please take it. And he's like, brother, I'm so busy, I don't have time. What is he doing? Nothing. He's looking at his phone, scrolling on Facebook, TikTok. He's just scrolling. And the brother has carrying a box of money, says, brother, please take it. And he's saying, brother, I'm so busy, I don't have time. So just like we will understand that this person is such a unlucky person. Such an unlucky person. He's looking at videos, maybe comedy videos, which is unhealthy in terms of Sharia. He's looking at comedy videos and someone is giving him a box of money. He's like, brother, I don't have time to take it. The same way when Allah gives us the month of Ramadan, if someone does not change his mind, the change does not come the day. Today it's, alhamdulillah, over 30 degrees now. Ramadan, it could be 35, 36 degrees. It could be sunny. So the timing will not change. It will be still 24 hours. The sun will rise in its due time. The sun will set in its due time. Nothing outwardly changes. But everything changes. So the people whose life is based on the outward, they're based on morning and evening, and they have built themselves a routine and they are not ready to come out of that routine, guess what? That $1,000,000 box will come and they will say, I don't have time to take it because I'm too busy. That is why, my respected elders and brothers and sisters, when Ramadan comes, the first point that we have to start emphasizing upon ourselves is we have to change our mindset. We have to convince ourselves that now is not the time for anything besides something which will benefit me in the Akhirah. When Eid comes and Eid goes, we can go back to our old routine. But inshallah, if the Ramadan is successful, our old routine will become better after Ramadan. It will not be the same. Imagine a normal human, any human we have. Imagine a person is working, but they're not building a retirement fund. They're not building their social security. They're not building their 401k, for example. In corporate America, that's what we understand. That's also very technical because 401k is zakatable, especially in the money that we put in and the money our employee puts in. The only thing which is not zakatable is haram money. So basically, if the company takes my 401k and they invest it into an haram business means it could be a bank, which is traditional bank, interest-based. It could be an insurance company. It could be anything which we understand as haram. So if the money we gave and the money our employer gave, if we combine it and invest it into, our company invested into something haram, then we will not see the value of the share, value of the 401k in the market. We will see the amount that we invested and our company invested on our behalf. Because that is halal. We call it the capital. The capital is halal. The profit is not halal because the company is haram. Anyway, if a person goes on in his life and he's not building his retirement, what happens to him? That person can become 80 years old, but he cannot stop working. The month he stops working, he's going to be in the shelter. Yes? The same way, if a person does not build his akhirah, then the day he dies is the day he loses everything. The day he dies is the day he loses everything because he did not build anything for himself in the akhirah. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that anything in our life can be connected with developing the akhirah. And as long as a person is developing his akhirah through his daily activities, that is the person who is the most successful. Now, how much should we be making? That's the question. If a person, when they were 25 years old, if they were making 100,000 a year, not married, no children, no family. By the time they became 35, children, married and children, if they were surviving on 100,000 10 years ago, can they survive with 100,000 10 years later? Yes or no? Very difficult. Because expenses are piling up now, it's increasing. Dunya shows us that as a person becomes senior, then his cost also expands, which means he needs to make more money. If a person does not make more money, then what's going to happen? He's going to have to sell his house to get into a rental property. Very soon the rental prices will go up so high, he has to move from that property because he cannot pay the rent. And it has happened to people. Now imagine if a person is getting older. When he was 25 years old, he was doing Ramadan. He became 35, he's still getting Ramadan. He's 45, he's still getting Ramadan. Every year Allah is giving him Ramadan. But every year as the Ramadan is coming, he doesn't find himself doing anything better than the last year. And the year before, and the year before. Whatever he was doing 25 years ago in Ramadan, he's doing the same thing 25 years later in Ramadan. Then how based on our calculation of how we calculate dunya, how can we call this person successful? Success would have been that as the years are going by, this person's Ramadan is becoming more and more in terms of outcome. And when the Ramadan ends, his life has improved for the better, so the next year after Ramadan is better than the previous year before Ramadan. If a person does not find himself on this track, that every year he finds himself improving in terms of his connection with Allah, in terms of his connection with Islam, then that person is not treading on the path of success, even based on our own calculation, the way we calculate the dunya. What does that mean? That means if a person, people sometimes think that, oh bhai, Quran is for the maktab children. Oh mashallah, I send my son, I send my grandson, my granddaughter, mashallah, they come here and they're studying, mashallah, and before they didn't know how to read the Quran, now they know how to read the Quran. I'm very, very happy. Sometimes we say this, and then when we're talking to each other, we are very proud that our grandchildren can read the Quran, or our son or our daughter can read the Quran. I have to tell you the story. I don't know if I told you the story before. Once one son, he went to his father. So he had father, son, and grandson. So the grandson had finished memorizing the Quran that day. So the son takes his son, the grandfather's son takes his son, the grandson, and he takes it to his father. And he says, Dad, I have very good news. So grandpa is saying, Beta, kya good news hai? Like, your grandson has become a hafiz of Quran today. So the grandfather was also very, very smart. They say old is gold, Old is gold. Young people, it takes them some time to understand that. They think that the old man is just holding me back. They don't realize he's saving me from making the mistake. Of course, if the old man is sincere, then he can save you from a lot of mistakes, because he has seen it happen before, either to himself or to other people. Anyway, so the grandpa says, MashaAllah, amazing. Tokia. Tokia basically means so what? So the son is scratching his head and scratching his ears. Maybe I misheard. Maybe I misheard. Main galat suna. Dad, you don't understand. Your grandson has memorized the Quran. Again, the grandfather says, MashaAllah, to kya? Samajh mein aaya? MashaAllah, so what? So now this son gets very frustrated. He's like, man, it doesn't make any sense. Grandfather is not like this usually. Kya ho raha hai aaj? So he goes to his grandma. And he goes to his mother. He says, Ma, what's wrong with dad today? I'm telling him that grandson has become hafiz, and he's saying, to kya? Problem. Now the grandma is now thinking also. The grandma means his mother is thinking, bhai, ye to ajeeb hai. Very strange what's happening. So she goes to her husband and says, hey, you didn't hear what he said? He said that our grandson has become hafiz. Why are you saying tokia? What's wrong? He will like, go and tell your son that if his son has become a hafiz, it's good for him. His son will take him to Jannah. His son will take him to Jannah. Bahut acha. Very good. What about me? Who's going to take me to Jannah? You got the calculation? It's clicking? So, baat sahi tha na? Baat sahi hai. What can you do? It's true. He's right. So the grandmother comes to the son and says, Beta, your grandfather is saying that you have secured your akhirah. What about your father? What's going to happen to him? That's the day when the son decided that I'm also going to become a Hafiz of Quran. And he started becoming Hafiz of Quran and he finished. It took him some time. Why am I saying this story? Just so it sounds nice, na? Bahut acha lagta hai. Qissa acha hai? No. I'm saying this story, I'm saying that every single person who's sitting here today, do you not think Allah has given you the capability of memorizing the Quran? Aapko lagta nahi hai? Kya lagta hai? Allah ne aapko nahi diya? Allah gave you or didn't give you? What do you think? Allah gave you or didn't give you? What do you think? Allah gave you. We didn't decide कि हमें Allah से ये लेना है. We didn't decide that I'm going to take it from Allah. I'm telling you, I'm very honest. I mean, very honest and very straightforward. Allah has given every single person sitting in this room the capability of memorizing the Quran, of understanding the Quran. It is our weakness, it is our fault that we have not decided to take that from Allah. I can guarantee you, today you make the intention that starting from this Ramadan, I'm going to start taking the Quran from Allah. It could take you 5 years, it will take you 10 years, I don't know how long. I can't guarantee you the time. But if you are sincere, guess what? Either Allah will keep you alive long enough for you to complete your mission, or if Allah takes you away before completing the objective, Allah will raise you from the Qurra on the day of Qiyamah. And that is also from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can you imagine? Allah is introducing the month of Ramadan in the Quran, and Allah decided to use the Quran. Allah does not say that a huge, humongous month, something by the name of Ramadan is coming upon you. Allah simply says, Shahru Ramadan, alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. This is the month of Ramadan, the same month in which Allah revealed the Quran. This is the month of Ramadan, the same month in which Allah revealed the Quran. Allah introduces Ramadan in the Quran through Quran. And then Ramadan comes and goes and comes and goes, and we have time for everything else, but we don't have time to increase our connection with the Quran. Who's at fault here? Who's at fault here? So my respected elders and brothers and sisters, make the intention. Make the intention and make it sincerely that, oh Allah, from this Ramadan, every day I'm going to start, first I'm going to learn to read the Quran with tajweed. Number two, I'm going to allocate this amount of time per day starting from Ramadan, which is obviously based on the 29th of Ramadan will fall on Tuesday. If we can see the moon, then Tuesday Taraweeh starts. If we cannot see the moon, then Wednesday Taraweeh starts. So whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday, we have to be ready from Monday. We don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday, so we have to be ready from Monday. Basically, we have 2 days in between. 2 days for ourselves to make a routine. What is the routine? The routine is, how much time will I allocate to the Quran every single day? Step number 1, learn to read the Quran with tajweed. Step number 2, specify whether you want to memorize from the back or from the front. It's your choice. If you ask me, I will say memorize from the back. It's easier. The ayah are smaller. For example, عَمَّ يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, 1 ayah. عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ, 2nd ayah. الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ, 3rd ayah. Small ayats. Now if you go from the beginning of the Quran, it's أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Almost equals to 3 ayah. But again, Allah has given you wherever your heart feels. Start from the back, start from the front, start from Surah Yasin, start from Surah Kahf, up to you. But make an intention that this is going to be the year that I'm going to start memorizing the Quran. 2 things will happen. Number 1, your intention is going to already start, many things in the background will start working on your favor, which me and you, we cannot see. Number 2, Allah Ta'ala, if me and you, if we are sincere in this track, Allah Ta'ala will allow us to live long enough to finish the Quran, which means that you will live very, inshallah, long. You will live, inshallah, very long, as long as it takes you to finish the journey. And if Allah takes you before that, you get free discount. Allah will still raise you with the Qur'an on the day of Qiyamah, inshallah. That is what the hadith of Rasulullah ﷺ said. So everyone is ready, inshallah? Inshallah. Now, my respected elders and brothers, does anyone know the responsibility Allah has given us during the month of Ramadan and otherwise? What is our responsibility? Our responsibility is Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O you who believe, save yourself and your family from nara. What is nara? The fire of Jahannam. And in this is one of those verses of the Quran in which Allah got very angry. Allah said, listen, don't think Jahannam is something very, very light. وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةِ I have made or engineered Jahannam in such a way وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةِ that the fuel that will cause the fire to continue burning is going to be two items, nas and hijara. What is nas? What is nas? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ What is nas? Insan, humans. Humans. Imagine Allah is mentioning in the Quran that the reason I want you to save yourself and your family from Jahannam is because I engineered Jahannam in such a way that humans are going to fuel Jahannam. Humans are going to fuel Jahannam. And number two is stones. Stones we understand because we work with coal. Those brothers who barbecue are those who are from the cold weather countries. We know that coal usually fuels our heating. So may Allah Ta'ala, put it into our hearts and minds that we also start making fikr. We also have concern for our families. A person lives with his family his whole life. He works for his family. He plans everything in his life is planned around his family. If we put all this together and at the end we cannot save that same family from Jahannam, then brothers and sisters, what have we done? What have we done with our life? Yes, if we tried everything and Allah's taqdeer came in and it didn't work out, we have seen the stories of Nuh alayhi salam. One of his sons did not believe in Allah. And we have other stories like that in the Quran. That's rare occasions. In most cases, when the father made and the mother, they made effort on the children, Allah saved the children. So please keep that in mind. That is very, very important. May Allah Ta'ala allow us such that we can not only focus on ourselves in the month of Ramadan, we can focus on our children as well, inshallah. Everyone's ready, inshallah? Inshallah. And last point, when is dua accepted during fasting? Does anyone know? Throughout the day. But what is the most specific time? Before iftar, right? So anyone who's doing iftar in the masjid, inshallah, of course, bring your children with you. Bring your boys with you. And if your wife is going to be with your daughters, tell them that half an hour to 20 minutes before iftar, start making dua. There is a very beautiful book, it's called Fadail Ramadan, the virtues of Ramadan. There's about 40 hadith. Sheikh Zakaria Rahimahullah Kandhalui, he wrote a whole book on that. The virtues of the month of Ramadan. So if we have less than 40 days, obviously, in Ramadan, 30 days, 29, 30 days. If you do one hadith, let's say we sit down, we go over one hadith, and then we ask everyone that teach them, train them what to ask Allah. If you don't, they'll ask for Game Boy, not Game Boy, it's outdated. They'll ask for games. They'll ask for, iPhone, the latest one. They'll ask for something. So you have to train them what dua to make. So train them on the dua and make dua. Initially loud, and then tell them, okay, now you ask Allah from your heart. If we can do this Ramadan will also improve our family standards in terms of deen, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. We can pray before we start our sunnah, if the brothers can stand up, please. And if we can move up and fill up the gaps, inshallah. Allah has given us good weather today. Alhamdulillah, after a cold week. So if the brothers can just move up, and once your line is full, then you can, inshallah, start your sunnah. Jazakumullah khairan. The Khidmat brothers downstairs and upstairs are requested to pass the donation boxes, inshallah, and all the brothers and sisters are requested to donate generously. Today I was asking our brothers, can you tell me the expense of the masjid? So he showed me the expense of the masjid itself. Just the masjid is $16,000 and $20,000, $36,000 per month. I asked him that how much do we collect in Jummah? He said that we collect $2,500 to $3,000. So I started thinking to myself that everything is about planning. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Actions depend upon intention. Me as a Muslim person, when I think that, listen, last week I gave $10 for Allah. How much I gave? $10 for Allah. And was that something which I spent, or was that something I got? When I donated $10 for the masjid, did I spend or did I get it back? I got it back anywhere between 10 to 700. How much? 10 to 700. Allah gave me back. So imagine if I had given 20 instead of 10. How much would it have been? It would have been double. Imagine I gave 30 instead of 10. Now the problem is I can't go back to last week. This week and the next week is Ramadan. And then week will go by. So as a person, when we come to the masjid, if we make the intention that if I gave $5 last week, this week I'm going to give 10. If I gave 10 this week, inshallah, next week I'll give 15. And I can guarantee you, as you keep on increasing the number, Allah will also increase giving you. Yes? Yes, inshallah. So have this mindset, inshallah. If we are collecting on a masjid which is spending $36,000 a month, mashallah, to keep this facility and all these a'mal standing, then how much of it would be my reward? Because there is 600, 700 people. Everyone is getting a share. So I have to think of how much of this will be mine. And based on that, I have to make my decision. And be smart about it, inshallah. Inshallah. And Ramadan is coming, try to give more, inshallah. Ramadan will go. If we give more in Ramadan, Allah will let us give more the whole year. And I'll get more, inshallah. Allah accept. And then obviously we also have the madrasa here. So there is about 60 Hifz students who are studying Quran 5 hours a day. There is about 300 after-school students who are studying Quran and Islam 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Alhamdulillah. Then there are about 50 students who are studying tafsir, fiqh and hadith advanced. The ones who are going to protect the ummah in the future and guide the ummah in the future. So it is amazing. There is also lots of budgets there. We'll talk more about it in Ramadan, but from now make your plan. Make your plan, look at your accounts, see how much you can spare. If you plan from now, Allah will give you the tawfiq to give more, and we will be able to cover and increase the work, inshallah. I want to ask you another question now. Does anyone know how many Muslims we have in America? Based on the official census, we have anywhere between 3 to 4.5 million. How much? 3 to 4.5 million. They don't know the exact number. Does anyone know how much of this population is under the age of 18? No, about 40%. About 40% based on the Pew Research Survey. They said it could be 1.3 to 1.6 million is under 18. So these are the children who need to be connected with the masjid. I was doing the math. America has about 4,000 masjids. Now, if every masjid of America is doing what Muhammadi Masjid is doing, which is they have a program with 450 students altogether, then only will we be able to take care of this 1.3 million Muslim children Allah has given us in this country. Every masjid has to do that. Now, obviously, we are from Muhammadi, we are focusing on Elmont. Our neighboring masjid will be focusing Masjid Hamza, another one Elmont Muslim Center, another one HIC, right? Every community is looking at their, but then we have the collective responsibility of the ummah that we try to come up with a plan to take care of the whole country. And that is what the organization that I am part of, it's called MESBA, Maktab Education Service Board of America. Muhammadi Masjid was one of our early test trials to see how you can build a system, a program where the children want to come and learn and it changes their lives to the extent that they go back to school and they can confidently even lead salah in the school without feeling ashamed. They can pray salah in the school, dhuhr, without feeling ashamed. Alhamdulillah, Allah has worked out so very well so far through the support of all you brothers and our management and everyone else. May Allah reward everyone, say Ameen. Now, this organization, we are doing this for another 53 masjids currently. So the way we do it is we hire supervisors and we allocate one supervisor to 10 masjid. And their responsibility is you have to build the 10 masjid from 0 students to 100, 150, 200 students, 300 students. And that is their goal. They go, they give the teachers training, they do the testing, they give the curriculum, they counsel the parents, they gather the community, they do all this, and then they build up that masjid. So one coordinator is very cheap. We only pay them $3,500 a month. And they're responsible for how many masjids? 10 masjids, and each masjid can grow to 300, 400 students like Muhammadi. So inshallah, I mean, we can grow as much as support we get from the community. So Maulana Abdul Latif will be standing outside after Salah. I will also join him after Sunnah. So whatever you can support, just support inshallah. And make dua for us, especially in Ramadan. Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah.